Higher self, spirit, soul, mind, heart, body. Blessings and peace. I'm just going to talk about alignment to the divine source. It is important for the mind to understand, to know how it works, the energy that comes from the source of all creation, how it is that all beings coming from the ascended realm say to you, you are one with the divine source. What does that mean? And how does that relate ultimately to your physical presence upon the earth? And how to work with that and make sure that alignment is strong and that you can depend upon it, that you can know that when you start to do your chakra practice, your meditation, your qigong, your tai chi, your yoga, whatever practice you choose, that you are becoming aligned through all those levels of your being to the very source of all love and light, of your very life essence. The solar source, the solar logos, divine heart. So just take a breath with me for a moment and think of that word inspiration, spiration, spirit. You're breathing your spirit into your body. So what's the difference? Why do we say inspiration? What are the root words here of language? Is there a difference between the spirit and the soul? That's so interesting, isn't it? The language. So I'm going to tell you how I use language, and you will find that many teachers use language in different ways. Sometimes they will actually combine those two words, spirit and soul, to mean exactly the same thing, which is why this question has come forward to me today. However, I'm going to slightly differentiate and explain to you how I work with this energetic continuum, this alignment, we call it. Because what you want, what the result needs to be is that you feel present in your body here on earth with all of you, with as much of you, as much of your color, of your essence, of your beautiful love, brilliance, and light as possible. So let's just go into the place, if you like, of creation, the heart divine. So you are light. You are one with the heart divine, the cosmic central sun, the light of lights, the Christ light, the creator light. And as you come into being, you are light, and you are in that sense formless, and you are the will of God becoming, or the will of Goddess becoming. You are presence becoming into visible light eventually as you come into the spectrum of individuation, of where you decide you are going to be a being of light. And this light being that you are eventually may decide to become physical, or may well decide to incarnate in other densities of light, in which case you will remain a spirit. A spirit being is a being of a certain level of form, of density of light. The soul is created, if you like, by the spirit. The spirit is the cosmic aspect of your being. We can also say your higher self is very much synonymous with your spirit, your pure light presence, that then creates a soul container of a particular color, energy, a soul container that has a purpose that is going to bring your spirit into expression. This soul may then, as we said, travel into different densities of light. The soul is not yet physical. The soul, however, creates a certain form. There is a formedness to soul presence. There is a color, a certain kind of density of light, because the soul is able to enter not just the sixth and fifth dimension, but also the fourth dimension, the astral plane. There are souls within the astral plane who are not incarnate. They are souls, but they have a being. They may be from other dimensions of light, and they are interfacing with human souls and other souls. I won't go into that vast, huge area of all the different kinds of beings there are in your world, in your universe, in your cosmos. Once we get to the fourth dimension and the soul energy that then also travels all over the universe in that fourth dimension, we are now getting close to the possibility of creating the form of the human consciousness. This now involves the mind, the heart, and eventually the physical body. But the soul is present in the mind and the heart in that fourth dimension, may have a body of light, of various orders of light, and still be present in the fourth dimension. For example, Chung Fu has created an astral body, which is what we're talking about in the fourth dimension, in order to be able to communicate better with the human mind, heart, and sensual and physical awareness. Once that soul has created that entity, that form of light in the fourth dimension, now that being may decide to incarnate into the physical realm. Now, obviously, we can be talking about new souls coming forward for the first incarnation upon the earth, or that soul might also decide to go into all kinds of forms of life within the earth and still have a soul, intelligence, and presence divine in the astral realm. So you have crystalline beings. Their soul is in that sense not formed into a human form, and yet their intelligence can communicate with human consciousness. I am, of course, not covering this entire vast subject, mainly answering to the question of what is the difference between spirit and soul. Do you notice that I have come into the astral realm with the word soul? It is a container, it is a body of light with distinct colors and qualities, skills and consciousness. Spirit is a much, if you like, higher dimensionality of the being that is higher self, that is one with the divine. Soul is created to carry the divine presence into the more dense light worlds, such as the astral plane, and eventually the soul will perhaps decide to take a life in the physical plane. That is not just earth, that is many possibilities of physical forms. Some of you may have seen physical forms of less density that clearly have light coming through the eyes that are soulful. They've got the light because the soul carries the spirit light, carries the higher self light from the divine source. The soul is the living divine presence coming into form. Now, as that soul energy wants to incarnate, it is going to combine, first of all, it's going to come into the intelligence of chosen parents. It's going to have, it's going to connect with teachers and guides and helpers who are going to assist that soul to form a body. That would be a new soul, if you like, upon the physical plane. If this is an old soul, if it is somebody who has already had incarnations, they could have gone all the way back up to source, to the spirit level, and come back to create another entirely different soul. Or they could bring an enhancement of this soul presence that they have had in another life. That is a lot to discuss, but I'm just giving you the flavor of that astral connotation of soul presence that then is possible to translate into the mental, emotional, and physical manifestation of your being, your soulful being here upon the earth. And then in your life, when you awaken, when you realize, oh my goodness, I can remember things that I know did not happen in this life. I've got some kind of connection to other lives. Then you start to realize, right. So through all my soul incarnations, the energies and the stories and the events and the lessons and the journeys have gotten, if you like, stored in my soul continuum, and then they have gotten elevated up to the Akashic records through my spirit and my higher self intelligence that works with the crystalline dimension. So you realize, yes, soul is an energy that is to do with carrying the power of spirit into incarnation, into appearance. You have to have a sturdy soul energy. Soul is powerful. Soul is strong. Soul brings you a container. Spirit is the light that pours into and becomes color, becomes qualities. It becomes strengths and skills and talents, gifts of the divine light coming in and becoming your unique expression. When you come into your baby self, into your physical life, now you're working really hard to integrate as much of your soul and your spirit, your higher self, and your divine being into your physical body. And that is really your soul path, your journey of integration of your intelligence, your emotions, and your sensations with the divine source through the medium of your soul awareness. Your soul awareness is sometimes confused, or again, I do not criticize language, but with subconscious presence, with emotional presence, with deep intuitive presence, because that is how your soul works with your consciousness. It works through your intuition, your instinct, your senses, your emotions, and very much your subconscious mind, your dream time mind. It works with imagery. It brings intelligence through light and color into your being. So then if we look conversely, when you're working with your body, you're opening your chakras, you're doing qigong, whatever practices you're doing, yoga, you're training your body to open up and connect with its body of light, and thus enabling your soul to have full presence here on earth. Because your soul is what energizes your light body and brings you personal power from the very source of your being. And so obviously there's a lot more to talk about, and I do talk about this a lot when we get together. Please do come and ask me more questions if you wish to in your personal sessions, or also have a look. I have done an entire transmission about the soul, the voices of the soul, and how the soul works through body, heart, and mind, and also the relationship with soul to higher self, and how higher self is always creating more ways for you to bring your brilliant light, your divine essence into manifestation upon the earth, and how you are becoming a co-creator with the divine as your soul evolves. That is indeed the purpose of your life here upon the earth and throughout the cosmos. You are divine creators in the making. Blessings and peace to you all.